Let's discuss some of the last things. In the release, we have to see continuous integration, task group, deployment group, and artifacts. After this, from the next class, straightway we'll start with the lab. Okay. So in the release, we have seen how to create a release pipeline, how to run a release pipeline. In the release pipeline only, if you go and edit the release pipeline, before that, I would like to create an app service, and in the app service, I'll create different environments now. So I'll choose Azure App Service here. In the app service, I'll create a web app. Don't have any backend, so I'll not choose the database deployment as of now. Disable from the GitHub. Networking, public networking on, monitoring, yes. No tags. Creating this. So there is a web app. Now you can go to the deployment slot. As of now, there is production. Click on adding a slot over here. Let's add staging. Let's add one more, dev. As of now, there is nothing in the dev and the staging page. Only production is having a startup page. This is created now. If you see that production page, only there will be a startup page over here. That's it. There's nothing in dev and staging slots. What we'll do, we'll come here. Now on the same pipeline, first of all, let's edit this one. I'll give this dev over here. Okay, dev. And this is my service connection. So whenever you create a fresh service after the service connection, always there is an issue. It doesn't takes that. Many times you may have to come and copy paste this. So you can copy paste. Now it will take. A deployment is slot or app environment. Now here what I'll do.
भी मिस हो गया उसमें.
Yes. So, another. Okay. Resource group you can copy from here. And then slot, which slot you want. So now we have created a, so we'll deploy in the dev slot first. Now what I'll do, I'll deploy this step and some settings attention where this is fine. This is fine, already taken from the first step. This, I'll not swap it now. I'll disable this task. I'll disable this. Now what it will do, this task will not execute, only this task will execute and it will deploy into dev slot. I'll again go back to the pipeline. This is the dev stage. I'll add one more stage now. And I'll again choose that deployment with the slot. I'll give it stage, stage, stage. In the stage also, I'll select my demo connection. App service name. Let's copy from here only. A resource group as well, copy. Now here I'll be deploying into staging. In the deployment slots, we have staging. 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 Every agent is okay. This is all taken from the stage only. Now I'll disable this one. I'll not swap it here as well. I'll take another task here. And this task, this is say production. So in the production, then demo connection. Now here app service name. I'll not deploy to slot. Now I'm not deploying to the slot. I'm deploying to the default service, app service, which is production. So it will only ask for the name of that, this one. I uncheck this since I'm not just deploying into the slot in the production. I'll be deploying into the main app service, web app. Now this task is of no use. Everything what you will be deploying here is like this. Okay. And go back. Now what I'll do, I'll start a continuous trigger over here. As soon as I check the continuous trigger, there are two settings in the continuous trigger. First is enable the trigger will create a new release. Let's start the recording. Yeah. Okay. So continuous trigger deployment, first thing, enabling the trigger will create a new release every time a build is available. So whenever a build is available, every time there will be a release also. I'll check this out. In the branch filters, I'll add include from the branch. Which branch? Main branch. So whenever there is a build is available from the main branch, this will trigger out. Second is pull request trigger. When I say pull request trigger means I'll enable this as well. Tag branch. So if you are merging to the main branch from some feature branch, and you created a pull request. So after creation of the completion of the pull request workflow, then also this will trigger.
So this is what we were trying to, I mean, last class, this is what we are referring, right, Abhishek?
Which one?
The pull request, once that pull request is approved, this will trigger, right?
Ha. Directly once that is done, and according to the result of the pull request, a build is completed.
Okay.
And after the build, you will have a release. Okay. So at any place, if you build directly also, if you build through pull request also, at both the places release will trigger. So I've enabled both. So this is continuous deployment trigger. Now after that, there is a dev, it will deploy in the dev. So here I'm not setting anything. I'm not setting it anything over here. Now let's go to the next stage. This is the stage. Now in the stage section, if you check pre-deployment, you can see that after stage means after completing which stage? Dev stage only, then it will run. If you want to set any deployment triggers at this time, you can set. Means artifact filter you want to apply, schedule, you want to schedule it, you can schedule it, pull request down. Okay. For example, I have three stages here to deploy: dev, stage, and production. Now, after deploying it to dev, for example, I need some time to test it. So what you can do, you can, after stage, which stage? Dev, you will deploy the stage. And what you can do, you can schedule, say after one day you schedule the stage one. In one day you are testing in dev and all those things. You are doing it. Okay. Right. And for going to the stage, say for example, you need some approval from your senior developer or from your scrum master or anyone. So you can have pre-deployment approvals also. Pre-deployment approvals also. So in the pre-deployment approval, say I've given, say, some name here for going to the stage. Okay, 30 days timeout. You can set any, you can set in hours, you can set in days. Okay, so this is the, and once I set it, you can see a tick mark in the approvers list here. You can set number of approvers over there. Okay, one, two, how many you want. So going to the stage, it will deploy. Or sometimes what happens, you don't want here, you can remove this also. But in production, without a manual intervention, you will not deploy. So either you can give a post deployment condition here after completing this stage, so that before going to the production, it will ask for a manual intervention. Or either you can give it here in the pre-deployment condition of the prod, either in the post-deployment condition of, similar with this thing also. This pre-deployment condition, what you have given for manual intervention, you can give it here also in the post-deployment condition of the dev. Okay, both will work same. Now here, post in the production. Now I'll go to the, now after which stage it will deploy, after stage. Now here I'll set like pre-deployment approvals now. Since production I don't want directly to deploy, so I'll set some pre-deployment approvals here. In stage also I've set, in production also I've set. Okay. Now there is a continuous trigger, then there are pre-deployment conditions set over here. Okay. I'll save this out. I'll save this. Now two things. We can run this. First, we can run it from local, push the code to the main repository, commit something, push the code to the main repository, and then from the main repository, a build will trigger. And then after build will trigger, then the release will trigger, like that. And another form is through pull request. Like you will create a pull request, you create some feature branch, and from the feature branch, so in first condition, this will execute. In second condition, like you create a pull request, in the second condition, this will trigger. Okay, let's see the first condition. So in the first condition, if you go to your project, uh, in the first condition, go to your project. You go to the command prompt, navigate to your project. After navigating to the project, very first thing you will do, git pull origin main. This is the first thing you will do. Whatever is there, it has been pulled. Now, status on branch main, your branch is up to date. Everything is up to date. Work tree is clean. Now, let's go to that file. Say index.cshtml. Now, I'll write something over here that demo for release continuous deployment. You can save this one. Now you will see, if you will see git status, these files are changed. You can see, and now you can do git head. Now if you'll see the status, files are green. Git commit -n, that will be the message. I'll write commit for continuous release. Committed. And then what I'll do, git push origin main. So pushed it into the remote report. Now after pushing it to the remote, when you will come into the pipeline section, here you can see demo project CI started. Means it is building the code due to that auto deployment trigger. It is building the code. Remember that build pipeline, definitely you will be getting all the help while creating a build pipeline. You need to sit with the developer, or you need to get some data out of the developer so that you can create that build pipeline. Release pipeline, it's up to you, because in the release pipeline you know all the tasks, the deployment task and all, where you want to deploy, whether you want to deploy into the VM, whether you want to deploy into the Azure App Service. Now if you come to the release pipeline, so as of now there is only one release. I'll go to the deployment. Okay. um, this is completed. This one. So now there is a release 2. This has been queued up. As of now, it was waiting for the Windows. Now it will start deploying into the dev. That is the issue with the service connection only. It was not taking. No worries. Let's go to the project settings again. Mm, Go to the service connection. Let's create a new one. Resource group. This will create a new service connection.
Existing service connection cannot be used here.
What happened, like I created that service connection in the same resource group last time where I created the app service. And after the lab, what I did, I deleted whole resource group only. So that's why it is not working. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me delete this one. Hmm. Go to pipelines here. Release. Let it the release out. Now it is showing. Deployment to the slot. Now slot you will see here stage and dev. So we are deploying to dev, so we'll select dev. This one. All done. In the second stage, now we are deploying to the, since we have a new service connection here. mm, Remember in the organization, like if you will create a service connection, please create in a different resource group and name resource group something like that. Okay, do not delete or something like this. You can name that resource group like that, so that whosoever will be doing whitelisting of the services and all, he should know, okay, we don't have to delete this resource, or you can lock that resource out so that no one may be able to delete that. Okay. Otherwise, you have to create a new service connection then. Web app deployment, resource group. Now here we are deploying to staging slot. Staging. Okay. So at first place we were deploying into dev slot, here staging slot. This will be as it is. Okay. This will be as it is. Hmm. Here we are not deploying into slot. Now all tasks are intact. Now we'll save this one. Let's go to the releases. Now this release was What I'll do, I'll redeploy from here. It is searching for manual trigger. No worries. Let's see it from here. Let's create a new branch. Again, triggering a build through pull request from the portal only. Now it should deploy into the dev environment. See, dev deployment is succeeded. Now it will not deploy stage until there is an approval. So now there is a 30 days window we have set for an approval for stage and prod as well. What you can do, you can go back here. You can go to your dev. You can test that whether each and every functionality which you implemented is intact or not. You can go to the dev domain here and try and access the page and all. Okay, like this. So this build was done through the pull request trigger. Okay. So this is working on dev. Now what you can do, you can go ahead and you can approve this one, stage one. Okay. You can add more approvers also. Okay. Now this is approved. Now this is queued. This green icon and the tick symbol means this deployment has been approved by someone. This is done. Again, you will be having a pending approval for the production. You can have people testing in the stage, your product owner, your scrum master, business analyst, whosoever need to test in the staging. They can go and test. Now there will be multiple people testing this into the staging. So what you can do for the staging slot, you can give some or reroute some traffic, like 5% of the traffic or 10%. So that's say there are 50 people in your organization who will be testing this in the staging. So you can reroute some traffic over here. Okay, 5% maybe. And rest 95%, since maybe there is some already running stable version of your website in the production. Okay. So once everything is tested in stage, what you can do, whether you can deploy it from here directly into the production, since there is a same code, same build which is coming through dev stage and now in the prod, so you can deploy directly from here. Either if you don't have this stage as well, what you can do, you can swap it from here. You can swap it from here. What you will swap, you will swap staging to production. Okay, after testing and all. As we have created the stage, I'll approve from here directly. Okay. So approval from here means it will go and deploy into the production. So this stage is also based on approval, manual approval. This stage is also based on manual approval. Now, as of now, if you go to the overview page, here you will find, as of now, you will find startup page only. At any stage, whatever stages failed, you can always have the log view. Okay. There will be a log view will be opened. You can download the raw logs from there and you can troubleshoot. Now, these whole steps, what we did is actually called a continuous integration and then continuous deployment, CI/CD. Means at one go you have done CI and CD as well. Definitely you have set a manual intervention over here, like before deploying it to the stage or before deploying it to the production. Maybe you can have some more approvers while deploying into the production, say 2 approvers or 3 approvers. Okay. Sometimes stakeholders also coming in. They also have access to your this DevOps portal. They will be coming in. They will be giving you approvals. Okay. Okay, you can go ahead with the production. So now if you will refresh this, it will show you your homepage. So you have deployed in all the 3 steps. Okay. Just a second. So, so this is done. Now, some more things you can do from here. So if you edit the pipeline again, it's not necessary that you can add from the same artifact only, same pipeline. You can have different pipeline for stage, build pipeline. You can have different build pipeline for your production. So you can, what you can do, you can add some more build over here. Like as of now, we do have one pipeline only. Maybe you can have another pipeline for stage, another pipeline for from production. So whenever you will be building stage, then it will take the latest from the stage or whatever version you will mention here. It will take that one. Okay. So you can create a new stage over here. Number of stage you can select in the artifact side. Okay. Uh, as of now, this one, we have only one pipeline. Still, what we can do, we can give this stage alias name. We can set it differently. So we can add another stage here. You can add some more stage, another stage for production maybe. I can set it like production. Okay. 3 stages. If you want, you can add over here like this. Okay. Stage 1 or QA1, dev 1. Sometimes they do like this. Means stage they are having at 2 places. Like if I select this deployment with the slot, say I must be having after stage, I must be having a UAT also, UAT environment. I can set it. So after dev, it will go to stage as well, it will go to UAT as well. Like this you can set. You can set multiple like stage, UAT. Again, you can set here some something like pre pre-production or something. Whatever you want, you can set like this. You can have number of stages. Okay. Sometimes they have first level, second level, like dev 1, dev 2, stage 1, stage 2, UAT 1, UAT 2, and then production. That many stages they have sometimes. Okay. So you can create any amount of stages, any number of stages over here. You can include artifacts from different pipelines. Got it? What I'm saying? So like this, the flow will be working. At any stage, if you want to set, you can set the approvals. Okay. In the approval section also, you can set different approvals. Like here, pre-deployment approval is there. Then you can set the gates as well. Now, if you go to the gate side, the delay for the gate to be, so you can give delay in minutes, whether 5 minutes, 10 minutes or hours, you can give, say for, you can give 5 hours. Now you can add the gates. What are these gates? These are pre-deployment conditions only. Like for example, query Azure Monitor Alert. So Azure Monitor Alert means Azure Monitor is a service which monitors your servers and give you visuals about the statistics of your application and all. So it will query and check whether all the Azure monitors and all they are set or not. Okay. Invoke REST API. So before deployment, you want to invoke some REST API, whether that is done or not. Okay, invoke Azure function. Maybe you have to invoke some Azure function that is done or not. Maybe there is some policy compliance, whether that is intact or not. So you can always give those gates, provide gate approvals also. Okay, here. So it will check. It will check for the query work items as well. Okay, execute a work item query and check the number of items returned. Okay, so you can have a work summary also. Okay, if there is some work item which is to be completed before this deployment, whether that is completed or not. Okay, you can set and query for the work items as well. And then deployment queue settings. After gates, you have deployment queue settings. Now, these deployment queue settings is nothing for like whether like if Vamsi has given some deployment and it is deployed. So at the same time, I'm coming and deploying something, whether it will do parallelly or not. Same thing. So that is a queue setting. Means I have to wait for that deployment to be completed, which is given by Vamsi or anyone else. Okay. So deployment queue settings. So triggers, deployment approvals, gates, and queue settings. So like this, you can have. Can delete it from here. You can select the stage and you can delete like this. You can delete the artifact as well. So in this way, you can create release pipelines. Now, sometimes as of now, we were deploying it into the app environment, app service environment. Sometimes you are deploying into the VM. So in the VM, you don't have these things like creating different slots and all. You don't have, they don't provide. Since this is a PaaS service, all these settings and services in the app service plan is provided to you by Azure only. But in VM, how you will do? VM you cannot set. So you will directly deploying into single VM. Like in dev, you will be deploying into dev VM, stage you will be deploying into stage VM, production you will be deploying into the production VM. For that purpose, what you can do, you can set the environments here. like development environment. You can create environment, development, prod, QA. Okay, these type of environment you can create. So in the development environment, what you can do, you can add a resource in the development environment. You can add a Kubernetes cluster namespace as well. You can add a virtual machine as well. Okay, you can add these, and these environments, what you can do, you can add the variable at the time of the release pipeline. Okay, now here if you will go and edit the release pipeline, there are variable section. Retention, we have seen retention means uh, and option, there are some options like variable retention options. Now in the option you can see that release, and there is a variable, this is an auto variable which is set as of now, like it will take release 1 2 3 like this. So if you go to the history option, not the history, if you go to the all pipelines, you can see release 1 2 3. Now if you want, you can have specific number of a release. Specific number means like you are developing through some specific artifact version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, like this. So what you can do, you can go into the pipeline, you can go into the release, you can edit the pipeline here, and in the option section you have seen that release, and there is a, you can go and add that variable over here, and you, as of now it is taking 1 2 3, but if you want, no, it should take a specific number like 1.1 only, 1.2 only, like this. So you can hard code, either you can either hard code that value, and either you can write some pipeline PowerShell script, so that automatically it should go number by number. Okay, so if I do 1.1 here, it will hard code that version 1.1 in the variable section. If you don't want to hard code, you have to go automatically that after 1.1 it should go to 1.2, it should go to 1.3. Then for that purpose you have to do some automation. What kind of automation? You have to add some PowerShell script. Okay, so in the pipeline task only, in the task before deployment, you need to add some task like PowerShell task or something. PowerShell task. Okay, you can have it here first. Now this PowerShell, you can choose inline script. Here you can write some script. Okay, for some script for automating this release number, so that it should automate the release number. Like after this, it should take 1.1 or 1.2. Okay, like this. So that is the, and for retention we have seen like dev artifact, stage artifact, prod. Say for example, stage you want to retain it for 30 days, or you can retain it till 365 days, maximum of 365 days, and you can keep 3 releases of that. Now retention means when it comes into picture. So say for example, you in the option no. In the pipeline only, no. In the deployment triggers, was that setting? This retention is for if sometimes what happens, whatever we are building and deploying, it fails. So we choose that option. I just shown in the last class. Maybe I'm not getting it where it was. This is an auto redeploy trigger. If you choose this, select event, why you want to deployment to this stage fails. Now, if now you will not set it for this, if say in stage it fails, you can set auto redeployment trigger. Now, this auto redeployment trigger means deploy to this stage fails. What action you want to do? Redeploy the last successful deployment. So whatever the last successful deployment was there in the stage, you can deploy that. Now for this purpose, what you need to do? You need to retain. You need to retain. For example, you have retained for 30 days. But now, and you are deploying after 2 months, that is 60 days. Then it will not take that trigger, redeployment trigger. Why? Because you have not retained your release for 60 days. For example, you have retained your release for 90 days. Now, in the second month, if you are doing it again, and for some unforeseen reasons, your release fails. So you have chosen that option, redeployment trigger. So what it will do, it will take the last release. It will take from the last release and it will deploy into the stage. Okay, if you have retained that release. So that is the advantage of retaining a release. Okay, so always you can choose that. Options, in the options, report deployment status to the repository host. So whatever deployment, so for every deployment we have chosen that it will report to the repository host. Now for example, I am the host, but I have created my this DevOps portal through member account. So it will, an email will be sent to my Outlook account, not this account, not this guest account. Okay, it will be sent to an Outlook account. So if I log into the Outlook, I'll find all the emails. Okay, all these emails I'll find for the deployment. Report deployment status to the work, report deployment status to the boards. You can report it to the Azure boards as well. If you have some Jira connection integrated, so you can report deployment status to the Jira as well. If you choose this, you need to give a Jira account here. And whether that Jira account is mapped to dev stage or wherever you want to map, it will be mapped. So like this, you can give the status of your deployment. So for example, in Jira, you created some item related to the deployment. Once the deployment gets completed, it will update the status into the Jira board, or it will update the status into the Azure board. If you give like Azure board. Okay. So these are the options. History, it will show you the history of the releases. Okay. So that is a release pipeline. We have seen build pipeline, then release pipeline, then we have seen environment. Then there is a task group. Okay. Now, what about task group? Now let's go to the pipeline back. In the build pipeline section, you can edit this. Now, if I want to group all these tasks together, okay, I can choose this one, this one, this one, this. Now what I'll do, I'll create a task group. So build hello world, like this. App category, build. Okay, parameters you can give like build configuration, release parameter I have given. Okay, you can create now. Now you can see a task has been created here. A task group has been created, and whenever I'll create a pipeline for same type of task or same type of building process, I can use this task group directly. So if you go to the task group, wait, this is the one. Wait, let's duplicate it. Can you see in the task group now? Build Hello World app that has been created. See, and that task group contains all these tasks. That group will contain all these tasks. Now, if you go back to the pipeline, if you are creating some new pipeline and you want like this, if you will search for build, see, you have that task group added in your task now. So you can directly choose build Hello World app. You can directly choose that task instead of choosing all those tasks. So that is a kind of task group you can create. Or task group is created here. Like this, you can have number of task group to be created so that you can import those task group directly to your pipeline and you can avoid some number of steps. Okay. What is a task group? Hello. Then the deployment group. Now, what is a deployment group? So, for example, you created some deployment group, like my new deployment group. Okay. Or say you create a deployment group, my demo deployment group. This is the group I created. Okay. So in the deployment group, my demo deployment group. Now, what is a deployment group? Now, in the deployment group, you as soon as you open your deployment group, there will be a registration script will be coming like this, PowerShell script. Now, what you have to do, say you created some machines, some number of machines, and those machines are known as targets. Okay. What you have to do, you have to register your targets with this PowerShell script. So for example, you created a virtual machine here. Say you created 3 virtual machines here. Dev machine, stage machine, production machine. And what you have to do, you have to add those machines, all the machines over here. And you have to go into one by one, you have to go inside the machine, you have to install this script. So that deployment group, inside that whatever target you will add, whatever target you will register, that will itself become an agent pool. That will itself become an agent pool. And then what you can do, you can directly deploy to those machines. You can directly deploy to those machines, and those machines will itself will be working as an agent. Means whatever you will be deploying inside that, all those things, all the logs and all those, that will be collected inside that deployment groups, deployment pools or targets. Okay. Just wait. Details. Let's try creating a VM over here in the demo RG. simple virtual machine I'm creating. Okay, let's spin this virtual machine up and then trying to add to the deployment pools. These 7 people joined today. Let's connect this. Now, till this machine is spinning up, here you have seen that this is the script. But to run this script, you can also use a personal access token in the script for authentication. Okay, so you will be needing some kind of authentication so that you can run this script over there. It will ask you. So if you use personal access token, what you can do, where is the personal access token? So just go to the settings. Just go to the project settings here. Agent pools, pass, service connections. Settings. Agent pool. Option to create a pass token. Okay, wait. Go to the demo project, pipelines, deployment groups, security. No. User settings. Ha. Now, if you go to the user settings here, you can see personal access tokens over here. Okay. So you can create a new token over here. Okay. Or you can use any existing token if you have. So I'll create like a web app token like this. Expiration 30 days. Full access I'll give as of now. You can have custom defined access like read write to work items, read write to code, all those things you can have. You can have on the build, you can have on the release. Okay. So that if you want to have only on the build, then you can give on the build, read and execute this one. So you can set up this. If you don't want to set up all these things, you can give a full access to this personal access token, web app token. Okay. Create this personal access token. Now this is the token. Now you have to copy this token somewhere. Otherwise, for the next time, you will not be able to see that token again. You have to keep it with you somewhere handy. Okay. Close. Now you cannot see that token anywhere. So now go back to your dashboard. Where's dashboard? Go to Azure DevOps. Demo project. Pipelines. Deployment groups. Demo deployment group. You have this one. Okay. Now copy script to the clipboard. First go here to your virtual machine, close whatever it is, open PowerShell. Open PowerShell and that too is that admin option more. Okay,
Yeah, I just see it now.
more run as admin. Go back, copy this one, copy that script, run it. It is creating an agent, okay, in your machine, in this machine.
Now it is creating agent now, agent pool.
Correct. Deployment group is like you will be adding the targets in the deployment group, like you are deploying anything into a virtual machine. So you can have different target machines where you want to deploy. Like there is a dev machine, there is a stage machine, there is a production machine, all those things. If you are deploying your code into the virtual machine I'm talking about, so you can add those targets in the deployment group. How to add? There is a script provided. When you will create a deployment group, they will provide you a script. That script you have to run into a particular machine. Now this machine will be acting as a self-hosted agent. Okay, see, it is asking for a pat token. Now we have already saved our pat token, created and saved. So just copy this pat token from here, just for the authentication purpose, and you can paste it here. And you can valid value for authentication type. Okay, sure. Let's enter. Now you can. First time you will enter directly, and then you will give. Okay, press enter for pet, and then you will give the token like this. Sorry. Okay.
So
Connected.
you press enter, then you put the token, right?
First you press enter and then you put the token. First I have done incorrectly.
Okay.
Yeah. Scanning for tool capabilities. Connecting to server. Enter deployment group tags for agent. Yes or no. If you want to give any tag to the deployment group, you can press yes. If you don't want to give any, you can press N. So for N, you don't have to press N. For N, you can directly enter. So that means a no. Okay. So I'll directly enter. Successfully added the agent, testing agent connection. Okay. Setting saved. Enter enable service for agent service. Okay. Service SID type you can add. Press enter here as well. Okay, now my agent has been set up. So once I set up this agent over here, you go to the targets. Can you see that target already added? If I would have given tags over there, so the tags would be added over here. So no deployment has been taken as of now in this machine. and this is showing healthy. Okay, means it is up and running. Okay, agent version it has given. Tags, if you want to give, you can give the tag. Recent deployments, as of now, there are no deployments to this machine. Okay, capabilities. This is an agent, kind of agent machine. Deployment, Taj is the name. Agent version 3.230.2. Agent computer name, agent host. See, that is the agent host, AZ agent A1. Now, whatever the build is running, whenever you run any kind of build over there, you will find all that build into that logs of that build into this location, agent location. Means whatever the files will be building. Now in the Azure agent, what happens? You cannot see that. So when I'm talking about Azure agent means go and see the pipeline. In the pipeline, whatever this build is running here, that is all in the background. That is all in the background, all those things. So whatever the files, like downloading the files, saving the files, saving the steps, whatever the steps are taken over here, all those logs, when you will run using this self agent, you will find all those logs in this location, C agent A1. Now, if you go to this, you will go to your C drive. Inside the C drive, you will find AZ agent. This is the AZ agent. And inside A1, you will find C, all the work items like work, bin, externals, configuration, run, all those you are finding here. See, everything is there, which is required by an agent. And once you run the build, you will find that logs for your or whatever the artifact is produced, all those things you will be finding up here. Now, what you can do to store the artifact into the Azure files, you can go to the storage account, create an Azure file share, and you can mount your file share over here. So that whenever you run and the artifact is produced, you can, in the publish pipeline artifact, you can give that file share and that artifact of yours will be come and saved over here in that file share. And it will be stored with the storage account. Got it what I'm saying?
Can you repeat this agent creation one more time?
I'm saying that as this is your Azure agent. Now Azure agent is everything is having on its Azure side. We cannot see all those files and all, whatever is happening here. But if you go with the self-hosted agent, you will see everything inside here in the AZ agent. A1, you will find the S directory, you will find the A directory, B directory, where your code will be there.
All the logs.
Where you build the code. Okay, each and every log, each and every file you will find inside this agent. Getting what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Since this is your self-hosted agent, okay, you will find and you can maintain each and everything over here. And whatever you do here, like if you go to the agent, there is an artifact produced. Now this artifact is also with the pipeline agent. You don't have the location for this. Why you don't have the location for this? Because when you created the pipeline, when you created this pipeline, what you have chosen in the pipeline artifact? You have to publish this with the Azure pipeline. What you can choose? You can choose a file share to save this artifact. That is the option you have. Now,
Mhm.
how you will save this with the file share? You can go to some storage account. Like you can have the storage account here. In the storage account, you can create a file share. You can create a file share. So as this is the file share, you can create a file share over here. And you can attach that file share with this VM. So in the network section of this VM, you will find that file share. That file share drive you will have. You have seen, right? Shared drive. What is a shared drive, right? A file share drive. and you can store all the artifacts over that on that shared drive. Now for getting how to add into the VM that shared drive, you can go to the admin part. There I've shown in the lab how you will add the file share into the VM. Okay. Got it? How to add these agent targets in the deployment groups.
In lab area, we can see that storage, right? File storage is
In
the
the
artifact.
admin part, you will go here in the admin section.
Admin classes.
Yeah, in the admin classes, you will go.
Yeah, I got it. So during the artifact storage, can we see here during the lab time?
If you will save your artifact with Azure files, then whatever your self-hosted agent will be, there you can go and there you can see your artifacts if you have a file share attached over here. Otherwise, if you want to see the artifact, then it will directly be available over here if you choose the file share.
Oh, that we'll see in the lab time or during the lab practice. Can we see that?
I'll show that. That is not a part of that, but still I'll show that. No worries. Okay. This is not a big deal. You just create a file share, attach that file share to that agent, and then from the pipeline you can choose it. Okay, file share to store the artifact. Then you see.
The self-host agent is now created for the Windows one, right, or Linux one?
No, Windows we have created.
Windows.
This.
You copy the script, right?
Pardon?
You copy the script and you enter in PowerShell.
I copied the script. I created a personal access token, and then I installed that agent over here inside a machine.
Can you repeat this step? Just for the what you did that or
You can see the recording, no, after the class.
Yeah, is something getting confused.
What is all about to confuse? There's nothing to confuse. Go to the deployment groups, create your own deployment group. One agent is online. If you go to the project settings here, go to the agent pools. Now this is something different. Like don't get confused.
Here Azure pipeline is we have created now, just now created. Self-hosted.
Yeah, wait. See, this is your agent pool. Okay, this is your agent pool. Agent pool. In the agent pool, what you have? You have either Azure agent, Azure pipeline agent, or you have self-hosted agent.
Yeah.
Self-hosted agent. These two types of agent. Now, why these are needed? To run your pipeline.
Got it.
Run your pipeline. These are agent pools. These are deployment groups. Okay. These are deployment groups. Don't get confused between them. Okay. These are deployment groups.
Okay.
Now, when I am talking about deployment groups, inside the deployment group, you have targets added. Targets. Inside the target, you have resource added. What kind of resource? Agent resource. Agent. Or you can say a virtual machine. Now, this agent or this resource in the deployment group is same as the self-hosted agent only.
That's
But
all.
agent pool and deployment group are two different things. This is same as self-hosted agent, but these both are different things. Yeah. Agent pool, when you will create a self-hosted agent in the agent pool, what you will do? You will use this self-hosted agent to run the pipelines.
Yeah.
But whenever you create deployment groups, deployment group means this agent machine or this target machine will only be available for the specific deployments, not all the pipelines and all. Okay, this is same as self-hosted agent. You have configured an agent inside a machine for the deployment group, but this deployment group will be available for specific deployments, not
Uh,
all deployments. Okay.
Yeah, this can be a basic one, but why we are using the two agent for the pipeline and deployment?
Where they are using two agent?
Like here deployment groups we have created resource agent, right? So the
Uh-huh.
VM.
Uh-huh.
So here the agent pool also is running, right? During the pipeline.
See, what happens? This this is this agents, these agents, everyone is using.
Okay.
Means they already have some load in that. I
Mhm.
don't want for my project that there should be any load in the agent machine. I want my agent machine for that particular project only. That's why I created deployment groups.
But it will be cost, right? So
Yes, there will be cost.
yeah, we have created two agent, then it will be
But this machine, this agent machine is dedicated to my that
particular
specific
deployment.
deployment, what I need to do.
Okay.
I can have different target sets. Say I have 3 deployment groups. I create a dev machine, stage machine, prod machine. I can add all the machines inside the deployment groups and all will be running as an agent, self-hosted agent.
Okay.
Okay. So that is a priority. If you want to do it, you can do it. There's nothing like that you have to do like forcefully. Okay. They have given you that
Option.
option. Yes. Okay.
But not
Agent
normally
pool,
we are only using
you
agent
can
pool
have
only.
a someone may have asked may ask you a question. What is the difference between an agent pool and a deployment group? So you can
Okay.
tell that agent pool, when we created a self-hosted agent in the agent pool, that you can use for different pipelines. But in the deployment group, that is also a self-hosted agent, but that is for a specific deployment.
For staging deployment, we use that agent only, right? So we can set over there so that it will be. So once the pipeline build created, the deployment purpose only that VM will be that agent will
Correct,
be running, right? That is the point.
Only for that particular deployment.
So that after build the Artifactory, the ACR will be moved to the deployment. So that time the self-hosted agent will be released over there.
What
So
you can
after
do
that,
once your deployment is done, all those things is done, you can go ahead and you can stop your server. Okay. Stop your agent machine.
yeah, then the cost will be saved.
Correct.
That the takeover for the agent pool is something we have to give any like for staging we are giving the different deployment, I mean the agent, and production we can assign the different deployment agent.
You can use different deployment pools. Deployment.
So that time the build created, that agent will be released, right? So that is
Yes.
the point here.
Yes. Okay. See, as of now, one agent is online. Now, if I stop that machine, that will show offline. Okay. Like I closed it. After closing it also, it will show online only. But if I stop it from here, if I go inside the virtual machine, deploy target VM, let me stop this agent. Stopping virtual machine.
Oh, this VM is created for only for the deployment for the
Correct.
agent, right?
Yes. So after the machine will be stopped, you will see that agent offline now. It is
It's fine.
already,
It will take time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is already stopped, but it is deallocating. If I
Yeah, yeah,
refresh it here,
yeah.
can you see agent is offline now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can have different agents, deployment groups, and you can, when you are deploying or doing a release directly from the deployment group, you can choose and you can release. Okay. Or directly from the release section, you can choose your deployment group and you can deploy into that deployment group. You can name like this: development dev, or development stage group, or production group. Like this, you can name your deployment
Yeah.
group.
Okay.
As of now, it is showing one target. If you have two machines, you will show two targets over here, three targets, number of targets it will show. So that is a deployment group here. Okay, that will be all for today. We have completed this whole section. Artifacts, there is nothing about artifacts here. Okay, just most of the time no one uses this one, because every time you will be saving your artifact with Azure file share only. If you will save it with the feed, then you have to pay some more money for another storage here in the DevOps portal. So no one chooses mostly to go with the feed and all. Okay, creating a feed just like creating a storage account and keeping the artifact, that's it. Okay, so you can create a feed, you can connect to the feed, okay, and then you can have artifacts stored into the feed. Means whatever the artifacts which are consumed by Azure pipelines, which you cannot see, those will be start saving over here in the artifact section. And you can save your artifacts with the version number. Okay, version number here, that you can also do with the file share also. No worries. Okay, so most of the time, since everyone is using the storage account in the Azure portal, definitely they always go with the storage account only. In the storage account, they create a file share, they mount a file share with the agent machine, and they keep all their artifacts over there. If you don't want to mount it into some agent machine, definitely you can go with some other options. What options? You can download Storage Explorer. You can access your Storage Explorer. You can access the file share through the Storage Explorer as well. So Storage Explorer is a kind of application. Storage Explorer. Okay. Storage Explorer. Azure Storage Explorer, Cloud Storage Management. This is a kind of GUI interface, nothing else, like this. You can download it, you can connect through the storage accounts connection string, and you can access that file share from here. So whenever you will upload anything into the file share, any kind of artifact, it will directly, you can directly see from the Storage Explorer. Okay, it's not like that you have to mount into some machine and all. So that is the option you have. Okay. Uh, let's already have one next class. Let's stop this now. We'll have a class day after tomorrow then. Thank you, everyone.